Hi everyone, thank you for joining me for the CA2 review. This is the last part 3, which will just cover the earth science material that we've covered this semester. All right, so our first page is just all dedicated to plate tectonics. With plate tectonics, we know that we have 3 different types of boundaries. I'll speak about each of them. Our first boundary is a convergent boundary. That means that 2 plates are coming together. When we have 2 plates coming together, a couple of things can happen. Okay, if we have 2 continental plates coming together, that means that we are going to create mountains. However, if we have a continental plate and a oceanic plate, for instance, right here, okay, this is still a convergent boundary. However, when the oceanic plate converges, because it is more dense, it will submerge into the mantle. That mantle will push lava up to create a volcano. So you can also create volcanoes in a convergent boundary. Our second type is a transform boundary. This is when 2 plates slide past each other, okay? This, as we know, creates a fault line. Think the movie San Andreas that we watched before Thanksgiving break. Third, we have a divergent boundary. This is when 2 plates, we like to think, dive apart or separate. From that, we can create a rift valley, like a valley if we have 2 continental plates spreading apart, or a mid-ocean ridge, okay, when 2 oceanic plates diverge. Remember, a quick note is that an arc shape looks like a curve, and our land shape follows how our boundaries line up, okay? I want to go over some pictures just so we have that convergent when we have continent to continent. That's 2 continental plates coming together. We have mountains. If we have a convergent boundary, again, continent to ocean, our oceanic plate submerges, which will create a volcano. In a transform boundary, we have 2 plates sliding past each other. This creates a fault line here. In a divergent boundary, for instance, could create a rift valley or a mid-ocean ridge when 2 plates separate. Okay. Our last part is talking about satellite images. Okay. With satellite images, we really have to do some critical thinking to be able to predict what is going to happen over time as our certain landform, whatever that particular landform, erodes. Right. So just to come back to the definition of erosion, erosion we call is the breaking down of land by wind or water, or could be other natural features like fire, and there's movement of that sediment elsewhere to another place. For instance, if you had a big boulder break down into smaller rocks, and then the wind or water, like in waves, carried those pebbles to another spot. Okay, some examples of erosion and landforms that can erode. Okay, craters eroding at the rim. We can think about what would happen there over a long period of time to change the visual of a crater. Same thing with water currents breaking down rock, water currents carrying sand or dirt, sediment that I was speaking of before. Deforestation could be another example of erosion. Okay, in the big picture, think what will happen to this land feature as it erodes over a long period of time, right? That's our main point with satellite images. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me. Thank you for watching or reading. You have worked so hard y'all this semester, and I'm really looking forward to you having a well-deserved break. Okay, so always, Mr. Ambrose is proud of you. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.